to see more progress on the front in Donbass. We know this for a fact because Russia has made gains around Soledar and around the town that Ukraine describes as Bakhmut, that Russia calls Artyomovsk. Also, there has been some movement along the southern front in Zaporozhye, but it's unclear how serious Russia's intentions there are. Having said that, Russia has recently established a pattern over the past few months of airstrikes against military-relevant infrastructure. So, all told, I do believe that Russia will continue with its airstrikes against military-relevant infrastructure, will continue pressing around Artyomovsk, aka Bakhmut, and might also continue moving along the Zaporozhye front. There are rumors of a possible movement from Belarus, but it's very unclear whether or not that will happen, and if so, how much progress they would make, because Ukraine is reportedly heavily defending that front. So I do expect more kinetic action. I believe the conflict will get much worse before it gets better, and I do not see any respite in the coming future. Present a new a crossing of the psychological threshold whereby more lethal equipment is being sent by the West collectively. So it is important in terms of being a political game changer, but militarily, I very highly doubt that it will be the game changer that some in the West are spinning it as. But nevertheless, as I said, it is an escalation, but it remains to be seen exactly how serious. As they always say, not to sound cliche, but every weapon must be tested on the battlefield. And these tanks will indeed be tested, and I do believe Russia will prepare accordingly. In fact, considering the fact that this has been talked about for quite a while, it would be inconceivable that the Kremlin did not at least expect this scenario in any sense. So I do believe they have planned properly, but it remains to be seen exactly how and what effect that will have on the front. But again, I do not expect any serious effect.
So,
I can only speak from my personal perspective here in Moscow. It does seem that people actually support it even more now than they did when we started. As a special military operation for the time being, and I do believe that is the right way to characterize it, because Russia has yet to go all out as one would expect in a so-called war. But having said that, the terminology and the actual ways in which Russia conducts this campaign might eventually change depending upon the escalation from the Ukrainian, aka NATO side.
I think the Ukrainian General Staff realizes that they are able to hold back Russian forces with what they have, and that the decisive terrain for this war is Crimea. And so I think now they're starting to build up a capability that would enable them to isolate Crimea and then make Crimea untenable for Russian forces so that Russians will have to leave. Once they've done that, then they can turn and deal with the Donbass. But Crimea, that's what really matters, because as long as Russia sits in Crimea, Ukraine will never be safe, and it'll never be able to rebuild its economy. So they've got to do that, which means they need long-range precision weapons, and they need the armor that will enable them to do this.